Hello, everybody. My name is Ulfgarður, and welcome back to Yvardsaga. I apologize. I just now realized I think that our intro screen music was muted this whole time. So I'm sorry if you've been just looking at that silent intro screen. There's supposed to be my normal warm-up music, but I'll make sure I get that checked next time. But I appreciate everybody for coming here to hang out tonight, or if you're watching this as a VOD, coming here after tonight, whatever the case may be. We had a lot of fun with our first D&D session just this last weekend on Saturday, but this is being recorded on a Wednesday night, and for the time being, this is planned to be our regular scheduled stream slot. I'm not entirely sure yet if we're going to do every week or every other week because we're up right before the holiday season when things just get really wild anyway. Um, so that I don't know, but we'll get there. We'll figure it out together. That said, I do want to give a review real quick of what happened last time before we get started. So I have a whole stream separate from last week talking about the campaign setting this takes place in, because it's a homebrew campaign setting. I've been working on it for going on 8 years now. I have a whole other stream you can go watch on Twitch as a VOD, or it's on my YouTube as a VOD. And that'll help quite a few things make sense, and it will info dump the hell out of you, but hopefully in a fun and enjoyable way if you're a D&D nerd like me. But so last time was our very first session, and we have met a new group of people, and they have been brought together to do a job. So just a brief recap of who we're looking at. Up first, we have a Yejaye, who is a Furbolg? Question mark. Um, Her species hasn't been properly identified or claimed yet. And as far as her capabilities, really all we know is she crushed an egg over one of the other party members' head, and it seemed to do something magical instead of just plopping yolks into her hair. Um, Beyond that, we have a tiefling named Cole, and what we know about him so far is that he is a member of a worldwide criminal organization that is more of like a resource network than like a gang, like LinkedIn, but for illegal stuff. It's throughout the world. You can tell by certain accessories that are a certain color as how they signal this to each other. And we know that because the third party member we're about to see has also been a member of that organization and was able to recognize that. So, as far as Cole's capabilities, all we really know so far is on this job, he's been hired to essentially leave no evidence behind, uh, and he has thrown a fire spell, a lesser fire spell so far. And then, last but certainly not least, we didn't get this image up last week at all, but this is Nemo. Nemo is also a tiefling, and Nemo is kind of a negotiator of sorts. Uh, Specifically on this job, she's here as an appraiser and to make sure that this item that they've been hired to retrieve gets sold properly and fairly. They wanted somebody experienced in dealing with these sorts of shady uh, transactions. That's the word I'm thinking of. And so they had Nemo hired. And so our three heroes here are journeying underground through some old ruins, which they were hired to do by a famous monster hunter named Yvelda Wargstride, a half-orc woman who rides a warg, and they're looking for an artifact buried somewhere deep in the ruins that's in some sort of a case or a container, and they've been told not to open it. So they don't actually know what they're collecting other than the case. So that's where we left off. They had a couple tense encounters with some other patrons. They hired a local ranger, an Earth Genasi, excuse me, named Ron, to be kind of a guide through the ruins for them. He's a local who hires out exactly that service, and he He's been leading the way through the tunnels. Apparently, he's been down here a few times before and only fallen into the river once. um, but we left off mid descent, and we're going to pick right back up where we left off as they are going deeper and deeper underneath the surface of Evard. So, hello, my friends. Everybody ready to play?
I think so.
Excellent.
Spiders.
Oh goodness, that's a way to start the night. That is an energy.
Must not be Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I do believe this should look familiar to all of you, as this is where we left off. You guys had a rather tense but ultimately peaceable encounter with some local wildlife, and have decided to continue moving through despite getting a little bit intimidated by some creatures. It turns out they also may have been intimidated by you a bit. One of them ran away, and one of them waited for a young one. So, up next, you descend down a set of stairs, and you come into what is another just ruined room that's collapsed in on the sides. The rock and soil under here has just spilled over and crumbled off the walls over time, but there's still this sort of kind of an altar, sort of a block style altar here. There's no iconography or anything on it. It may have just been like an eating surface for all we know, because it's completely unadorned.
Two things, Ulf.
Yes.
Have you changed your Twitch?
Have I changed my Twitch?
I don't know, your screen on Twitch. Am I that delayed?
The stream
I'm
might be
asking.
that delayed. I think the stream is
Okay, just it's not showing the same things.
okay. I appreciate that, but
Okay.
yeah, it should just still be delayed.
But for two people who are now on the map, the very top left corner.
Yes.
It is a big map.
Thank you.
I am able to see, so that's good.
Excellent.
Yeah, sorry for
You
interrupting.
can fight.
Exactly.
If you can see, you can fight. Um. Yeah, that is. I see what you mean, Pez.
Now that I've refreshed, it seems to be behaving.
Okay.
Or are you talking about the map?
Uh, partially maybe the map. Okay. Nope. Nope. We good. We good.
Okay.
It should all be fine. Sorry, I'm still getting used to streaming D&D, so all the fun hiccups I get to learn anew. But anyways, so this altar table stone block thing, uh, it's entirely unadorned, other than it looks like assorted whatever goes on down here may have marked it up a tiny bit with scuffs or small indistinct scrapes. Um, but behind it is the remains of the wall that was, you know, the back of this room, and that has crumbled away enough that you can walk through. There's a decent hole. You kind of have to step through awkwardly because it isn't fully collapsed down to the floor, but it is big enough that a humanoid-sized creature can just walk through. So, Ron walks up there and he kind of raises a hand at you guys. He's still pretty on alert after the encounter with whatever the hell those creatures were. Um, and he kind of peeks through with his crossbow at the ready, and then he steps through and he checks down through here where you can see there's a bend in the kind of hallway. And then he gives you a thumbs up. As far as he can tell, it must be clear enough.
Keeping our marching order?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yejier will fall. She probably knocks a few stones loose.
I was gonna say, Ulf, can you just pause Ron and let go of him for a second?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Not to be a pain, but all the other characters are like translucent for me. I can easily see their health bars, but the characters themselves are very faint beneath them.
Interesting.
So,
It's the
It's
same
weird
for me,
because that's
but
weird. They're not
I
like that
was
for me.
I was just gonna like just let it go because I was like, I can still kind of sort of see him.
now I can see it. Yeah.
That's better? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what. It also just got way brighter, so I don't know if there was gray layout for me or what.
Yeah, it's part of the like trying to give your token dark vision
Hmm.
settings. They've changed it since the last time I really was playing consistently on Roll20. So
Yeah,
I kind of forget how some of the things are or are not compatible as far as operating settings go, but looks good for everybody.
Yeah.
I was more than ready to be like, tieflings' visions are based on movement. It's totally okay. In the dark, they only see shades of gray.
Yeah, fair enough. Um, so as you guys are stepping through, Ron pauses and turns and just and not like a super concerned or like there's something going on manner, but he turns to look back at all of you and he goes, "Can you all do spells? Because two of you threw fire and you did that weird egg thing. Do you all do magic?"
I do.
Does it matter?
Well, as somebody who's going to be fighting to keep you alive, I'd like to know what you're capable of. At least,
Uh,
would you rather stay far away, or are you more comfortable being up close?
Valid concern and question, and I prefer mid range.
All
And the
right.
answer is yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I would like to stay far away.
All right. Understood. Uh, he looks at a Yejier. I don't suppose you cast spells up close, do you?
That's a great question.
You don't know? You don't know?
I can do both, but generally, I keep anyone I'm fighting at a distance, and she like holds out her abnormally long arms.
Okay. I guess I'll.
I like the arm's length. It's like,
What?
how long are her arms again?
Does Yejier just have reach due to arm length?
She has arms that are uncomfortably long.
It's true. She do got them long arms.
I don't think I put a full body of her hero forge, but I think the fingertips go past the knees.
At
Oh my
least at least
goodness.
down all the way to
Yeah,
the
like
knees, if not further.
uncomfortably long arms.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Okay.
A furbolg
I will. I
looking
will.
creature, but slightly stretched.
I would.
An orangutan version of a
Sure.
furbolg.
I will make notes of this.
I'll send you the full hero forge.
Okay.
um, to which Ron looks around and he goes, "Okay, well, I guess if we find anything angry down here, I guess I'll be up front. I'm going to take one shot at least, and I'm just going to drop my crossbow. If something happens to me, can one of y'all take it and just give it to, I don't know, somebody up top side?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Or
Probably
uh,
get 5 gold for it.
yeah. Or if I drop it and have to go off a far distance chasing something down, at least like pick it up.
Hmm. Hmm.
Cool. All right, we can move on then. Glad we got that out of the way.
Did Yvelda seriously assemble a group of entire magic users?
There's nothing
I
wrong
don't.
with that.
I do not believe I was purposely assembled.
Did you just fall on this job?
She is not the one who found me. She's not even the one who led me to Darbaton. Mushrooms.
There are mushrooms.
Me, not a Yejier.
That was just pets.
Mid conversation though, a Yejier just like trails off and comes over here.
Okay,
When
you
she said she was talking about Yvelda, right?
yes. You interacting with those mushrooms at all there, Ayegie?
Yeah. Yejier will, after trailing off and forgetting that she was even talking to the party, just slowly crouch down and see if these are the same mushrooms, new mushrooms, what have you.
These are different mushrooms.
Excellent. Mhm. Sorry.
Do you study plants?
I'm an alchemist of sorts. It's part of the reason I'm here.
Ooh.
Of
Do you make
sorts.
tinctures?
Does that mean your speciality differs?
No, I just never know what people think of when they say the word alchemist.
Fair point.
Hmm.
It could mean something different where I come from, but it's close enough. Will I be choosing my own role?
Yes. Sorry. Whichever. You know how I usually break down interacting with
Indeed.
flora fauna.
So it's a different mushroom, same general environment, maybe not growing out of wood, but that's okay.
It,
Still in a cave, still cold, still dark.
having seen what the other one looks like growing out of the wood, this looks has a similar like sort of emergence out of the ground. It
Okay.
yeah.
So before I actually roll anything, can I scrape a little bit of the dirt away from like the bottom of the mushroom just to see if there's any wood underneath it that's growing out of?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Scraping away and assuming knowing your character the amount that I do, trying to avoid disturbing the actual fungus as much as possible.
Yeah, only scraping it away from like a small area right next to it, not even all the way around it.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check for me.
How dare you?
You do got you do got big hands, and
It's
unfortunately
sure
you said
delicate
small
though.
area. Oh yeah, yeah. No, y to the two of you, it looks like she's done this an awful lot.
Digging through the dirt.
Just
Particularly presumably to get at the lower parts of whatever mushroom. Uh, but you dig down in there, and but it you get through about like maybe 2 inches of fairly loose, easy to move um, soil, and then you scrape your nail scrapes along what feels and sounds very much like old wood.
who?
How dare these mushrooms treat me this way? That's okay. They look different though, right?
Yes, there are some
Okay.
similarities, but they are definitely not the same thing as what you found before.
Okay.
Maybe
I
they're
will
cousins.
do I mean, I'm thinking one's a look-alike and one's gonna kill me and one's gonna cure me. Well, we got Morel, but we
Oh,
also have the false Morel.
The only way to tell them apart is one kills you.
Here,
So.
each of you try one.
I just have that
Um,
scene when Uncle Iroh, when he wanted to make his own tea.
Delicious tea or deadly poison?
Yeah.
the poison in the
Precisely.
dose. Um, so I'm gonna. I think I want to get it. I'll do a nature first to make sure that if I accidentally touch it, it's not gonna immediately kill me. Just to like, there's certain things you look for. What sort of gills does it have? Is it shaggy? All that fun stuff.
Yes. Okay, that sounds like a nature to me.
Mmm, not terrible.
Well,
Mushrooms are hard.
they are, and I mean, you're underground in a different region of the world than a lot of your expertise lay lays. I can't words tonight. Good gracious. But as far as you can tell, this isn't this doesn't show any outright signs of being at least like toxic to the touch.
Okay.
Um,
Which I mean, just from looking, you don't necessarily know, but
yeah, the main kind of distinction with the mushrooms you found last time was the mushrooms you found last time are like the trumpeting sort of mushroom where they flare out at the end, but then those ones kind of folded over back on themselves like a weeping willow or an umbrella, like they just got floppy after they flared out too far. These ones don't do the flopping. They are a slightly richer kind of amber hue that stays in that trumpet shape. The base of, I know it's not a stem on a mushroom, but my fungus knowledge is not great as a nature nerd. Uh, but whatever the stem part of a mushroom is called, that has distinct characteristics too. So it's not just like a different life stage of the one you
okay.
found previously. It
It's called
probably
a
wouldn't
state.
kill you immediately.
A stipe? I think
Yes,
it's a stipe.
it is a stipe. Thank you.
Nerd. Me to me. Uh, so yeah, ASGA is content to kind of do the same thing, try to get a chunk of the wood with it, since obviously that seems to be probably where the mycelium is.
Okay.
Not taking all of it. Solitifand?
Yeah. Yeah, that's different than digging soft dirt, so we'll have you roll one more.
Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Should have
No,
kept my bear
I was
down.
already considering it. Oh, hey, dirty 20. Okay, so
Yeah, I really thought that was a 2 when it landed on my screen.
nope, not this time. That'll be the next one.
No.
No, it's
S-
jinxing. We're jinxing.
So you go down to try and collect this wood that this mushroom is growing out of, and you realize that it's actually quite solid and still firmly attached to something. And it's heavy, and as you move it around, you do feel a little bit of wiggle, and you figure out just the right ways to manipulate this wood so you can get your mushroom mycelium sample. And eventually you get that satisfying crack as you get one of the planks. And you see down inside it, there's leather cases and pieces of metal. And it looks like this was some sort of a container it's growing out of.
Huh?
Ayeshier, far more interested in the mushroom, will just sort of, I'm assuming Ron turns around at the snap in the dead quiet cave, and
Yes.
she'll just like wave him over without even looking. Anyone else who's looking, it can be
Yeah.
implied she's waving them over as well. She'll scoot over to the side a little to try to get this mushroom to fit in some form of jar.
Just like, here, get this out of my way.
Just like, I gotta move so you guys can deal with this while I deal with my mushroom.
Yeah. Someone
Ron
come over here and move this treasure box for me.
Ron comes over and goes, "Holy shit! I've walked past this exact thing probably 5 or 6 times. Never would have thunk that there was. Never would have thunk there was a trunk." He laughs to himself contentedly at his little rhyme. Thanks. I mean, rules of rules of getting a ruins permit in Darbiton. Anything in there's yours. You found it. Just remember to declare it when we go up top.
Yeah, Shay. Do you want to do the honors?
Looking at the box that she's already partially cracked open. Mushroom put away now, I am only assuming.
Yeah, you'll be able to
Okay.
to get your sample out of that. You nailed all of those checks and discovered a hidden treasure.
She will actually use the javelin that she carries with her to sort of pry open this box more, whether it has hinges to open or she just pries open some planks.
Uh, it has hinges and will open. Like this is a proper storage chest.
Okay, not like rusted shut or anything.
I mean it is, but the maneuvering you had to do to break that plank off knocked a lot of the rust out of the important parts of the hinges. So you'll be able to get in there. Even if you don't, you have a hole right in the top of the lid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
She's not delicate about opening this. It seems that she's very delicate with these samples she's getting, but you think that if she came to a door that was slightly jammed, she'd just keep kicking it until it opened. Because she, like, if this box doesn't open smoothly, she just smashes it with the bottom of her boot a couple times to loosen it up, and then will try to open it again, or like then wedges the javelin in and cranks it open.
This is man-made. It doesn't need to be treated gently.
fair enough. So
But after opening it, she'll look to Nemo. You are the appraiser.
Yeah, what do we got here?
all right. So you pop this thing open, and in this chest, like this is it. Like it's not a huge chest. This is something. If you grab what's left of the handles on the side, they're wide enough that you could still like your forearms would be straight out if your elbows were at your side. So it's not huge, but it's something you could like shove under your bed.
Oh, okay.
Um, and inside, with better vision on it now that it's up in the open and you can all see in the dark, you find a leather pouch that has 73 gold pieces in it.
Money.
It also inside has 47 silver pieces and a black hunk of onyx that's been like tumbled and polished.
Ooh.
Nemo, looking at that as with your experience as an appraiser, you could probably sell that for a solid 20 gold, maybe 25 if you handle the negotiation right. As well, there is a small collection of silver jewelry. There are 2 rings, 2 bracelets, and then there's one like neck torque, and then just a regular like neck chain that you could attach a pendant to. That's nothing remarkable or valuable. As far as materials go, it's not silver, it's not gold. It's just probably iron or steel, something durable. But there's no pendant attached to it.
Wolf,
Yes,
do you have this list typed out anywhere?
I do.
Could you put it
I'm
somewhere?
writing all this down.
I know you were probably writing it down, but I was taking other notes.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fair.
I normally I would have been writing it down. I even wrote a little header that was like in the chest.
In
And I
the
wrote nothing,
chest.
so I was writing about my mushrooms. I have priorities.
No, that's good. I've also been spoiled because historically, Pez is the note taker in other groups I've run Evard sessions with, and so I'm not used to having to be the one to type stuff out. So I apologize. It'll be a change, but I do like doing it for you.
Oh,
And
that's
I
fine.
don't mind doing it. It's just I wasn't because I was writing other things.
Oh, no, and I thoroughly appreciate you typing this down, because, like, I've been in other groups where the DM's like, either you write this down on your own and you remember, because if you don't, I'm not reminding you. And I was like, oh shit, okay.
That's part of the reason why I'm like, I know someone else is probably taking notes, but I feel I should also write this down. Otherwise, we suddenly have people who are like, "Didn't you know you have an ice dagger?" And I'm like,
When?
Since
"They're
when?
like,
What?
what?
It's been on your hip this entire time.
It's
Really?
been glowing bright blue ever since the temperature dropped.
Yeah, why haven't you used that in the last 3 fights?
Why have you just been punching people?"
Oh,
All right,
okay.
there are 3 other things in that chest.
Thanks,
And I will finish describing those before I hit send. It'll be in the Roll20 chat, and if we want, we can copy and paste it.
Okay.
Um, from there to wherever you keep your notes for your reference, because I keep mine in a different place. Um, but where did I leave off? So you find one cylindrical. It almost looks kind of like a crystal, but not quite. It's some sort of semi-pliable container that sounds like it has a really thick but technically sloshable liquid in it. And Ron goes, "Oh shit, it's been a long time since I've seen any of those. If you guys want any light, just act like you're gonna break it."
Oh, so shake it?
Oh, you don't have to shake it, just try and like snap it in half. You won't actually do it. It's tougher than it looks. And it'll after you do that, it'll stiffen up and it'll produce light for quite a while. It's
It's
like
a glow stick.
it's like a well, it's kind of yeah. That's an interesting name for it. I've heard them called a sun rod, but sure. It'll light up like a torch, and there's not an open flame, so you don't have to worry about catching your neighbor's hair on fire or nothing.
Huh,
And it'll last
that's nice.
for I don't remember how long, but it'll last for a long time. I knew somebody spent a fortune on them whenever we'd get hired out on well night duty, because folks I used to sail with, most of them couldn't see in the dark.
Huh.
Wasn't enough to run a full night shift, so we had to get a bunch every now and then. Um, but as he's telling his seafaring stories, or at least getting dangerously close to telling some seafaring stories, there are
Mm.
2 clay, uh, like drinking vessels, clay bottles, kind of, but they don't have like a long neck beer bottle. It's pretty evenly sized clay cylinder that just has a little hole in the center of the top and a cork that's sealed shut with beeswax. And there is definitely liquid inside if you pick them up, heft them around, slosh, all that good stuff. But it could be anything. I don't know if you guys would want to check and see what's inside.
I feel like maybe we wait till we get outside.
Agreed.
Okay.
Okay.
I would hate to open a jar of rotten eggs and be stuck in this cave.
Who would be petty enough to put a trap? Like, I would be petty enough. Never mind.
They actually just
They could
contain
have been
wasps.
fresh.
Yeah.
No, if they're detecting gas pockets, that could be something they use. Hence the sun rod. Doesn't create a spark. No open flame.
Yeah, no, I didn't think about that.
Well, I've gone down further than this, and I've never had any sort of fume issues before.
Oh,
Not
good. Okay.
not that I can remember. At least nobody else in any of my groups has had a fume issue or a gas issue. So at least
Hmm.
from here down to the next level, which is as far as I've been, I don't think we'd have to worry too much. But that is a good point. I had never thought that might be something we find down here.
Um, does Nemo have enough room in her pack to carry all of this?
Uh,
If she looks like she is struggling to fit things, like especially the larger things like the jars and the sun rod,
yeah.
Ayejiye will just hold out her hand in an offer to take it.
Okay. Could you?
And when she takes it, she puts it into that same bag that seems too small for all the shit she's putting in and out of it.
I would like to say Nemo would know what that is, would she?
Uh,
And,
at face value, probably not because it's
Okay.
heavily decorated and uh, like it's crafted in a way that's different from the standard you've seen, but
Mm.
you know that function. So
Yeah.
yes, you would probably recognize exactly what that is.
She's
would
gonna have a girl moment.
Nemo
She's like, "Oh my gosh, where did you get yours and how much?
I love your bag.
I love it so much. Oh my gosh."
It was a gift from my grandmother before I left.
Oh.
Very good for all the glass jars.
Mm.
Is
Definitely.
Nemo holding on to the money bracelets and jewelry? Or is she handing that over too?
Let's see.
There's two rings, two bracelets, a neck torx or a neck, like, not quite collar, and a neck chain. So small stuff.
Yeah. She can take it because
Okay.
I would like to say like she pulled out like a little notebook and like started to take inventory.
Cataloging.
Yep.
Nerd. I say,
She's like,
typing my
"You're
notes.
gonna
As
be
you
happy that
found
I
this
did this."
hoard for taking mushroom samples.
Yep. And she looks at everyone. She's like, "We're digging up all of the mushrooms from now on."
Uh, yeah. Yeah, she is happy now. Like,
Can you
stands
take
up,
like
wipes her hands.
some bits of the wood that's broken out from the chest and like tuck it underneath the mushrooms? Like, there you go, eat up.
Yeah,
Reprop them up.
Yeah.
yeah, no, you definitely can. Cole, in that corridor you're looking down, Ron looks over at you, and kind of while Yeji and Nemo are still wrapping up their inventory catalog, he comes over to you and just says quietly, "That's a dead end. There shouldn't be anything over there. First time I came down here, there was a chimera starting a nest, but we took care of that, and nothing's ever been here since. So it's just a small spot. We can go check it if you want, but I've never known anything else to be there."
I'd feel
How
comfortable if we did.
Okay.
how how much does Iegie know about chimeras? History? Question mark.
That'd be in nature, I think. Yeah.
Nature. Okay. I wasn't sure if she'd be off of stories or just because I don't know if she's been exposed to them.
You may have heard some stories as a kid, but probably not many.
Okay.
So you could take your pick.
Yeah, history just makes more sense to me. If she hasn't seen one in person or know what they look like, she's probably just trying to remember like what she's heard
What
about them.
what was Ron not following me as we moved to check it out?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
Um, yeah. No, whichever one you want, ESJ. That's a good enough. Convince the DM for that
Okay.
role for me.
And I'm
Eh.
guessing everything's kosher.
Yeah, no, everything back here, like, there's bones on the floor, but they are long cleaned.
Mostly what I'm trying to get at with remembering things is like, why would they nest here? Like, is there a resource they're usually near? Is it just the environment? Or are they like some more mythical creatures that like nesting near treasures or magic sort of thing?
Um,
Bless you.
Soon, hey.
Did I not mute in time?
not
No.
quite.
Bless you.
Salute, Bootstrov. Um, you don't remember anything from the stories that would be super specific, but in that you kind of get the sense that there probably isn't something like nesting near treasure.
Okay.
Just because that would probably be a thing some
That carries through.
that carries through. Yeah, that's a memorable trait for somebody who studies the natural world. Um, but yeah, Cole, everything up there is fine. Like you can still kind of maybe see remnants of an attempted creature nest of some kind, and you can definitely see some of the bones left from the chimeras that Ron said that they had dealt with previously. Some of them are still there, but they've definitely been picked clean by whatever small bone picking creatures live in the ruins under Darbiton.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Um, but with that said, Ron will make sure everybody's paying attention, and he goes, "Now it splits up here. If we
Oh,
go to the left, so hold on, let me get my measuring tool so you guys can see. If we go to the left, as your characters see it, that's where there's a bridge, and that's how we go further down. The bridge goes over the river. If we go to the right, which for you guys on screen is the left, that's where we get to a room where the floor is unreliable. I don't know entirely what's past on the other side because it looks like there's another old wall that might have something behind it. A couple of stones I saw before were maybe kind of loose like that one we walked through was. But that's also the room where I fell through the floor into the river. So I don't know what chances y'all want to take with that, but in that one room, I'm going to say y'all are going first. Because I'm not dealing with that river again unless I know there's a freaking druid with us. And I'm pretty sure
oh,
that ain't none of you.
So, the path less traveled is the one to the right. Is it?
Yes. Yes. This one is the path less traveled that has a, a room that he hasn't fully explored for fear of falling into the river again. Which, for what it's worth, you guys are having to speak louder. Wherever this subterranean river is, you're pretty freaking close to it because you can hear it. It's reverberating around not very far down one of these corridors from where you guys are.
oh,
It's pretty loud, and you can definitely hear that there is a waterfall attached to it somewhere around here.
oh God. Oh boy.
Despite being the heaviest, probably, character, if very least the biggest, uh, Yejier does not seem against going on the path to the right, the holy floor.
Okay.
I'd be curious into the room as well.
Okay.
Uh,
So
you
If
can
Ron
Um.
will go first.
you can see the disappointment on Ron's face, but he sucks it up and earns his money. He leads the way there, and you start to see even before you're properly in any visible stone ruins that there's already holes starting to appear in the floor.
oh. Okay.
Yejier is going to hold up her hand before they get too far, and she starts digging through her bag and pulls out pythons and a length of 50 feet of rope.
Nice.
She's going to pat the walls, see how sturdy they are, and will offer, if we stay near the walls, we at least have a handhold. It will just take us longer. I don't know if anyone else is carrying 50 feet of rope and 10 pythons.
Uh,
I have rope. I don't have pythons.
Is there
I've
another
got
trick?
rope.
um,
I don't think we even sell pythons in town. I should probably mention that.
I don't think I have rope, but I may have a way to help. And I have wings.
Is
Hmm?
totally unfazed. Is there enough room for your wings? She's
Uh,
imagining obviously like a wingspan.
yeah. I need more than 8 feet. So,
Yeah,
uh,
at least where you are now, it'd be probably too cramped for that.
oh,
For what it's worth, Cole, as a fellow tiefling, you've never heard of a tiefling having wings before, so this is
Yeah,
something new.
I have questions.
Yeah,
Like freaking excuse me?
yeah, because for the record, for those who don't know, winged tieflings are a variant that can happen in a lot of campaigns and game worlds, but in this setting, they're not really much of a thing. Nobody has ever really heard of that as a common experience. So yeah, do with that knowledge what
Seeing
you will.
seeing
We're
Cole's
gonna have to talk
confusion,
later.
Ayeshe looks at Nemo with an assessing gaze, shrugs a little, and goes, glowing and flying. Nods approvingly, says nothing else.
like, approval. uh, but yeah,
Give
I was gonna offer to check the floor for you guys, but
how
if I
heavy
can't,
is Nemo?
Not as heavy as a Yejier, I can tell you that right now.
Let me test the ground. Walks over it fine. Ayeshe 2 steps, plummets.
oh, good. I don't know why I thought she was gonna use Nemo like a heavy rock, you know. She just throws her in. Like make sure like the rope is on her. Throws her in.
Yeet.
Did it crack? No. Okay. Come back. We'll try this direction next.
Oh, goodness gracious. I love that mental image. Thank you for that.
But Nemo, if you want to go first, that might grant a passage for some of us later folk.
Rude ass.
Wait, what?
Well, I can go first. We got rope as long as y'all are willing to hold the end in case I fall. I can go first. You paid me to take the
Is
risks.
is is there a way to do like a knocking test?
Sort of like with ice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Can you
can
do that with
certain.
dirt?
Uh, it would be fairly tricky, but in theory, from what you can see with these couple holes in the floor, there's not a ton of soil over the ruins underneath that have been collapsing. So, in in theory, yeah, you might be able to. Through the holes, you can very loudly hear the river below, but you cannot see it, which means it is
Oh.
at least 60 feet deep
Ooh.
if you are standing close enough to actually look down.
So I'm gonna tie a rope around my waist and then toss the other end of it to Aegia. And then using my staff, I'm gonna try tapping the ground as I move forward. And I'm gonna
I will
shuffle
be
my
holding the rope.
yeah, and I'm gonna shuffle my feet to try and leave a clear path of where I walk.
Okay, let's go ahead then, and it is 7:53. Let's go ahead and take a short break and let that cliffhanger sit there for a bit because my dog is insisting she needs to go out.
Okay.
And that way we're getting a wellness break in. during the session. So go do your wellness, do what you got to
Woo!
take care of, and we'll be back in, I'd say, 8 o'clock on the dot. Hey, Bogue, welcome to the party, pal. Yeah, we're using Roll20 for this one. Uh, yeah. So you'll recognize one of the people in this campaign that isn't my wife, Bogue, but we'll get to that. We're about to take a wellness break, so y'all take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in a few minutes at 8 o'clock. Okay, hello everybody. I am 2 minutes late. I apologize. 2 minutes late getting back from wellness break. I should know better when the thing defining my return time is this dog going to the bathroom in an efficient manner, because that's certainly not her forte. But I hope whatever your wellness activity was during our break, it was enjoyable for you and not too laborious if you're finding those sorts of things hard to do lately, because I know I've certainly had a lot of times like that. But we're here to have fun, and I think we're having fun, despite my animal's best efforts. Bogue, it's good to see you. Just as a reminder, since you know one of the other people here in real life, um, we're not using names, but his character name is Cole, or you can call him Possum. I've been calling him Possum, if not Cole. Uh, so if you're still watching and paying attention, you'll recognize his voice. But we are about to go exploring some precarious footing ruins that may or may not lead to somebody falling down into a river. We'll find out.
Those mice every week.
Hello, my friends.
Hello.
Alrighty. Shall we explore some holy ground, if you will?
Yeah. It's gonna be fun as an infernal.
All right, so Cole, you are using your walking stick to attempt to tap the ground, and you are tied around the waist with a rope that a Yegier has, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right, let's see. Um, I would say make a perception check to properly feel whether that's through the staff or your feet, as well as hearing the sound from thunking the floor. Uh, See how well you pick up on the subtleties of that. Good heavens, you guys are crushing it tonight.
Yeah, dirty 20.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, with that, you can take as much time as you want, but you'll be able to make it all the way through to the other side of this down here, and you won't find anything else that feels very unreliable.
Yay.
Donnie? Like,
So yeah, with that, Ron will follow, and he kind of bounces up and down on a few spots, and he goes, "Huh, still holding. I'd say it's pretty good."
do is this something or is that one of those
Oh
weird
no,
things?
that's nothing. That's a leftover somebody marking the map, because
Ah,
when we were when I have used this map before, somebody was getting silly with the ability to draw.
oh, the doodles.
Who could that be?
I wonder. I don't. I don't wonder, I know. Okay. But up here is another busted down remnant of a wall, and on the other side there is a bit of a kind of a ditch in the floor, but it's pretty narrow. It would be hard to fall through.
Is Cole still tied to me?
I would assume so until I am told otherwise.
Okay.
I was waiting until we all get through.
Okay.
Nemo's just
Just
holding the
making sure.
middle.
Okay, and Ron has gone ahead a little bit, but
So
still very much
now
within eyesight. You can move 2 squares to the left of that wall, and you'll walk right through into the space.
Oh, okay. So now, well, we can untie. I'll take my rope back.
I gave you a thumbs up. You couldn't see it, but
Uh, anyone notice the floor?
it's a big hole in it.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like a gash, no?
It does look
Is
like
it?
a gash.
That's the one I discovered. You're welcome.
I'm
Uh,
sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
oh no, sorry. That's me, the DM, misremembering. Ron would point out I fell through the other one.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That was that was real floor when I stepped on it.
my mistake. AUGA. I'm gonna retie myself and bring it back to you.
Excellent.
Um, I will say Ayejie is purposely trying to stay in areas that are narrow enough that if she threw out both of her arms, she could probably touch either wall for further anchoring needs.
Valid.
So she'll
Yeah.
mostly hang out in like doorways. I did not mean to expose that part of the map.
No, you're good.
Ayesha,
I went through a wall. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
are you strong enough to lift him if he falls?
Is he strong enough to climb up the rope?
These are very good questions. And she's looking between the two of them.
I do not need to lift him if he can climb.
I don't need to climb if you can hold and all three can pull.
Okay.
For what it's
Um,
worth, if that happens and somebody's dangling down below, we should have somebody that isn't dangling, even if you're still trying to pull, keeping an eye behind us, because that amount of noise, since we've already found a creature that I have never encountered before down here in a place that I would not have expected it, that amount of noise that something like that could generate, we'll want somebody paying attention behind us. Whether that's me or whoever's back here.
That's
valid.
that's another good point.
You should
Uh,
be able to reach pretty much everywhere, Cole, with your 50 feet of rope while attached to Ayejie while she stands in the doorway.
Yes, and for what it's worth, the braziers here are not actually lit. That's just the map asset that I had.
ah.
On Skyrim rules,
Nope,
there's no bread down here. Fresh cabbages.
nope.
Bullshit. I want my money
Worst
back.
dungeon ever. 0 stars on Yelp.
You want your money back. Your employer paid your registration fee for your permit.
Yeah,
And
so
I
it'd be like
want
a
it back.
200% profit.
Fair enough.
All right. Do you need me to roll
Yes,
for this?
let's do a separate perception roll, please.
Um, I doubt I would be any help because I'm too far away. Question mark.
Yeah, I'd say you'd be able to help, so you can make it with advantage, because since this is just stone floor, even though it's really pretty loud, because you can hear the river and see the river when you get close to these holes directly underneath you. I guess you can't see it, but you can tell it's straight down there. Um, like you can still try and listen and hear if his tapping sounds off. So I would assume if it sounds like something bad and he misses it, you would say something. So,
You'd think so.
so in that case, yes, make your perception with advantage, Cole. You might get, I don't know, something good, or at least something not horrible.
Average.
Good thing I had the advantage, though.
Okay. Go ahead and move your token square by square so we can keep track of where you are.
dead silence as Cole walks through the room.
All right, now hold on now.
Yep.
As soon as you get to this back wall, I want
Oh.
you to make an acrobatics check for me because you
What?
realize that if this wall is maybe on the verge of collapse, like Ron had said, that it could potentially maybe take the whole floor out. So you're gonna want to be gripping onto something, and a couple of the stones just kind of back behind you maybe feel a little bit more loosey goosey.
Ah, well, I'm glad I had the wherewithal to think about this.
Reattach the rope.
Oh yeah, you can wall shimmy like the best action video game protagonist. Just a perfect wall shimmy to make sure you've got a good foundation under your feet, and you absolutely do. So, yes, but as Ron had said, this wall right here is already starting to lose some of the cut stone bricks out of it. And it definitely looks like with a decent push or maybe a couple of decent hits, parts of it very well could crumble away.
Um, so with the floor behind me in mind, I'm gonna see if I can push and wiggle some loose stones and push it in away from me
Okay?
to see if I can work open a hole.
Okay? Yeah.
And I do have my staff that I could use for leverage if I find a place that's close.
Yeah. And you'd be able to get pretty much to any point on this wall with that acrobatics check. So, unless you're moving out of these squares, just player knowledge, you're fine. Don't don't sweat.
Yeah, and I don't plan to jump away or anything.
Yeah, but there are plenty of spots you can just kind of test and probe and see what's going to hold together and what's not. And it looks like it's mostly like the biggest section at a time that might give is like maybe a foot and a half by a foot and a half. Like there's still a decent amount of structure in here, and most of the stuff ready to fall is in the middle. So you can take it in chunks.
Yeah, then we'd probably see if we could build a good hole in the middle then.
Alrighty. In that case, I'm going to.
That'd be probably
Do you want help?
here.
Okay. I did some things on this map that were not the most efficient way to do stuff. But yes, you can see in there, Cole, you can see directly in and you can step right through. And inside is
No,
a.
he can't. He's
Because
attached
Oh
already.
shit. Well,
he's
if
like, cool, and then
Like a
he
dog
tugs.
on a leash.
if nothing else, so that his token can step into the room, so the player can
Okay.
see. That's a good point. Thank you. I forgot you were leashed.
Yep,
He's literally like 50 feet away from me now.
perfect.
Yeah. No, you can't quite get out
Can
across
you
the
tie
wall.
our Can you tie our ropes together?
Is the floor not stable enough for us to follow?
Maybe.
What were
Nemo
you
squints.
checking?
I was able to walk across it safely. I don't know if you will be able to walk across it safely.
Calling me fat.
No, you are large.
Yeah, I have more rope. I can just tie more rope on him.
Uh,
It's gonna be like Gimli, though. I'm gonna be like, describe it to me.
yeah. Ron has a pack. He doesn't have a rope like looped around the outside or anything, but inside he has another 50-foot length of rope he pulls out so you can tie it together.
I mean, I have 50 feet too, so if we need 150, we got it covered.
Okay. Excellent. Well, hey, if he falls, if nothing else, he can just be a really far away piece of bait in the river. Just give it a tug, set
Who
the hook.
Uh, Nemo,
Yes.
I do believe if you would wish to join Cole in his investigation, this room does look big enough for you.
It's a
Yeah.
small room. There is a chest in here.
You should go check it out.
Yep. She gets about here and
Here's
then
chest.
yep, she's like, I'm there. Hold on. Uh
Hold my
uh
potion. Whoosh.
yeah. She gets about here and usually because you're right behind her, you see her like move her hair away from her back and she reveals like these two huge birthmarks that are in the shape of wings, like bat wings. They start moving and kind of like contorting their way out of the confines of her skin, and out comes a pair of 8 foot wide wingspan bat wings that are red and black.
Tietia's
And
just going to be speechless about that. She's processing how she feels.
So is that each wing is 8 foot?
no, her
Or
entire
is that
wingspan is 8 feet
so that's a
ish.
4 foot wing
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
width?
yeah.
Ulf, did you do the thrust calculations and see what that
Absolutely fucking not. I don't do math unless I have to.
You don't know how heavy Nemo is. She
No,
could have hollow bones.
that's my
Uncle Cole's like, how much do you weigh?
that's some of my next questions.
Nemo sets him on fire.
We just have like
Uh,
an old school Batman moment. How much do you weigh? She was like, oh, 135. Does the Batman boomerang thing. You weigh more than 135.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I can only
Okay.
find thrust calculators for, like, airplanes and stuff.
Oh
yeah,
goodness.
you'll have to look versus on bird wing um, surface area versus weight. But we can debate that later.
We can do math
Yeah.
later. That's fine. So yeah, she just like takes off, flies over. Where's the chest?
It
It's in
is,
here.
She like peeks her head through.
yeah, right in that little room. Despite this room looking like it's some sort of deliberate display, it is another wooden chest. It does not remotely meet the description of the artifact case that you're looking for.
Ah, okay. Does it look locked?
It is locked,
Oh,
and it is an internal lock. It's not like a padlock on the outside. It has a built-in locking mechanism.
oh,
Which Nemo, you would know that like that sort of thing is expensive to get put in just a storage chest,
yeah.
let alone
Hey,
for however old this is.
yeah. Hey, Cole, did you check for any traps?
I have not yet.
Oh. Um, would you like to assist me in looking for traps?
I can. Yep.
Okay. Do you want to make your own roll, or do you want one of us to roll with advantage?
Yeah, whoever's checking, if you're both looking, go ahead and roll with advantage for one of you. And that'd be investigation to suss out traps.
Okay. Uh, I'll roll.
Okay.
Dun. Oh,
Oof.
Good thing you had advantage.
yeah.
you can you can tuck away your D4 for now. Um, yeah, as as far as either of you can tell, there's nothing trapped in here. You don't see any tripwires. You don't see any suspicious like pressure plates in the floor or underneath the chest itself. You don't see any sort of like abnormality with the front of the chest, like there might be a hole a dart shoots out of, nothing like that.
Oh goodness, you just listed everything.
Did I? Did I though?
Okay. Um. Hmm.
Do you need assistance opening?
Um. I have a good old fashioned crowbar. She whips it out of her bag.
Okay.
I just realized that I didn't establish before that she had thieves' tools. So I was like, she has the skills, but not the tools.
She forgot
Well,
to pack them.
Yeah. She was not told she needed to go get the damn thing.
That's fair. You were not told. You were also
um,
part of the retrieval team.
uh, may I?
Sure. Starts tucking the crowbar back away.
So, I do have thieves' tools.
Excellent.
I feel like we're perpetuating a stereotype here.
No, you guys didn't spend 2 hours trying to figure out how to get through the door.
We're gonna cross a bridge. There's still a bridge.
There is still a bridge and a river. That's notoriously Pez and I's experience with that. It wasn't a door, it was a collapsed bridge.
Do you guys want to know a fun fact?
Oh god.
Yejier also has thieves' tools.
Did
This
we build the same fucking character, all
th-
three of us?
who's ever heard of a party comp? We're going for class monopoly.
That's what it fucking feels
We're
like.
min-maxing. We're min-maxing the whole party.
At least he brings stability. All it's gonna take is one tank to kill us. Oh fuck. Um, is that a sleight of hand?
um I've kind of forgot what it is for them. It's been a while since I've had anybody use thieves tools.
It
Yeah, you
is
can use different.
dexterity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
Dex plus proficiency and maybe plus something else.
yeah.
Uh,
That's. I think that's sleight of.
is it?
Dexterity is a sleight of hand check. And something about like if you're trained in thieves' tools, you can add your proficiency to the check you're making.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We never use that because my only other pickpocket thieves tool using person has like a plus 22.
No, more or less, it was she had to crit fail to fail.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, it'll be a yeah. Which do you have the thieves' tools on your uh inventory in D&D Beyond?
I thought I did.
I mean, I do.
I was keeping myself honest.
Proficiency with these tools lets you add your proficiency bonus to any ability checks you make to disarm traps or open locks. I do believe you can still choose like what you're using for the check, depending on what you're trying to do.
Oh, I think it's always sleight of hand unless you're trying to break it open.
It doesn't say that.
Oh heck. That's what I'm trying to look up is what it actually officially says.
I
I
okay.
literally read what it said.
You right, you did. I'm sorry.
I only have my healer's kit on me. I don't have my thieves tools.
I'm the only one with them.
Um, so upon realizing that, I'm gonna go. Well, luckily I have this trick I learned. So I'm gonna pull. You know how the Fonz would like hit the jukebox
Yep.
and a song would play?
Mhm.
I'm gonna turn around, look at Nemo, and give the chest a strong hit.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah, so as soon as he does that, there is a resounding, very satisfying click,
Ooh, okay.
click, click.
All you.
Well, I will turn back around to the chest and
Oh yeah, and you can't miss the sound of him hitting the thing. Like it is a magically amplified sound as part of using that spell. It is really loud. You just hear doom.
Nemo sticks her head out through the wall. We didn't break anything.
Ron
Goes back into the wall.
Ron
oh
takes a
yeah, that
couple
is
steps back
300
out.
feet away. Shit. Well, um, I will step to the side of the chest and open it slowly.
Oh.
Okay. Inside there are two items. One of them is a 50-foot length of rope. The other one is a leather bundle that is closed and tied shut with leather straps. It's not like secured. You could absolutely untie it, no check needed, and look inside. But it's a,
Is that a
a,
fucking thieves tool
a
set?
no goodness. It's bigger than that for sure.
Well, I'm curious, so I'm gonna undo it and open it.
Okay. Inside you find a bunch of climbing gear. You find pythons. You find what are they? Crampons?
Yeah.
I like the shoe things.
Yeah. Like this is a no fucking around climbing kit. And when you open it up in there, there's a little bit of a jingle and a plop. As contained inside it, hopefully to maybe convince people to walk away, is a bag of coins.
Ooh.
And when you open the bag of coins, you realize it's mostly copper. But there are three coins that look like silver coins, but not quite right. Nemo,
Ooh.
these are platinum coins. This is
Ooh.
the metal above gold when it comes to making coins. And like these are borderline an historical artifact all their own in Evard. Like most people have never even necessarily heard of platinum coins as a currency. And there's three of them in there, which is 30 gold pieces. And that's if you're
Mm,
just going for the straight money value, not the fact that, you have an appraiser who knows you could probably sell them for more to the right
hmm.
kind of collector. And that's everything that's in that chest.
50 feet of rope.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't type.
Yeah, 50 feet of
Clean.
rope, climbing gear.
Well, I will put all the climbing gear in my my pack. I'll toss the coin pouch to Nemo.
Ooh. You know, we can probably fetch a pretty sum with this if we go to a collector. For the silver ones, not the copper.
Oh, that fancy silver.
Very fancy silver.
High low
Uh,
silver.
Like the
high
sky.
ho silver. Away. Um, so like, I would like to say that Nemo saw like the climbing rope or like the rope, and she like looks up to see like do we start ascending now? Descending? Is there a hole?
Mm.
As
So
far as you can tell, there's no way forward from here. It's just backtracking.
I'm I'm gonna try lifting the chest.
Okay. It's not secured to the floor or anything, so yeah, you can lift it. It's a little bulky and heavy. It's slightly bigger than the last one you encountered underneath the mushrooms, which is a sentence I didn't expect to say today. Um, but it's solid stone underneath it.
Is
All right, I am gonna move the chest just like a foot or two back,
Okay.
just so it's not where it was.
uh
Fair enough.
can Nemo, with her experience, tell like if the chest is bigger than it needed to be for those gear?
Oh yeah, there was a lot of empty space in there.
Uh does can Nemo look for like a false bottom or something?
Sure, you absolutely can. Um, make an investigation check for that.
Yes, I'm great at those.
Yeah, are Nemo's wings still out? Just for my own mental image.
Yes.
Excellent. I imagine her ruffling or rifling through this empty treasure chest, Cole trying to peek over her shoulder, and her wings just being like absolutely in the way.
Oh yeah, and like her little thumbs at the tower just kind of like wiggling.
Would you prefer I try and assess the chest?
Oh, sure. I have no problem with that.
Turns away, slaps him in the face with a wing.
So with advantage investigation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Woo! Good
Okay.
call.
1 second. Good work. For some reason, my mouse decided to not have a visible cursor anymore.
Huh.
Mine
Neat.
just did that because it's my browser froze.
Hmm. I hope our internet didn't get done. Well, that shouldn't affect my. Because, like, even on the taskbar, I don't see my cursor.
No,
I can
weird.
see, like, the things light up when I mouse over them, so I can technically still function. It's just gonna be a little bit slower than normal until I can figure out why. Anyway, sorry. So you look for a false bottom, and you do find a little bit of the wood bottom of this chest in the very corner where the grain is going the wrong direction. Like
Ooh.
it's very, very easy to miss, but since you both know what you kind of know what you're looking for here because you thought to look for it at all, you see that it looks like it was just like removed from the board that makes up the bottom and rotated 90 degrees and put back down.
Oh.
It's most likely a button.
Oh, I'll try pressing it.
And the box explodes. Congratulations.
I found the source of the ticking noise. It was a pipe
It's a
bomb.
pipe bomb.
The bottom swivels up a little bit and it has a little bit of a spring or a propulsion to it, kind of like a bung. And you
Ooh.
still get the satisfaction of getting to open it and reveal it. But looking down in there is a very old knife.
Ooh.
It is
That's
in a
lovely.
case and it's it's not your standard like dagger shaped knife. It looks like it's probably only one bladed side. The handle looks pretty comfy. It's got some carvings done into it. Looks like it may be bone. It's kind of yellowy. It doesn't look like it's leather, but for whatever reason, it's down here.
So I'm gonna take off my handkerchief and use that to pick up the sheath, just so I have something between me and it.
Ah,
A little
yes.
paranoid, are we?
Okay.
I'm gonna pull that out and look at Nemo. Any ideas?
Would she have any ideas other than it being like antique?
Make a history check
Ooh.
as you assess this.
You're killing me, Nemo.
Okay. All right. Well,
You're killing me, Smalls.
I gotta say, if things keep going this way and one of you two makes the next roll and gets another six, we'll have the two tieflings get 666 in a row. Just saying. Um, this is definitely an archaic like style. Like this is extremely old. And from what you heard about the ruins in Darbiton, they're ruins from the old Empire's War that ended 300 years ago and went on for way longer before that. This has to be from some point during the war quite a ways back because this is your first look at this thing as you're trying to actually assess it would be I'd probably need to look this up to
Mm,
even get an idea of what it might be worth. So you're
okay.
you're not entirely sure, but you definitely know it's old, but it's in surprisingly very good condition, which you would probably be able to infer there's a decent chance that either somewhere on this chest or the knife itself might have some sort of magic on it.
Oh,
Not
So,
necessarily, but
yeah.
it might.
She like squints at it, tilts her head. Could be
to
about
kind of
300 years old.
to help
Maybe
her,
magical.
yeah, to help her
And
get a better view, I'm gonna turn it, and then I'm gonna grab the handle and pull the blade out.
Okay.
With your bare hand.
Correct, because I was holding the sheath with the cloth.
How
I
funny would it
need
be
to
if
roll
only
a
the sheath was
6, damn it.
magical?
Okay. As you do that, you pull the blade out and the blade is pristine.
ooh,
It is flawless. You could use this thing right now, no restoration or cleaning needed. Honestly, it looks like this could be used as a food grade prep knife. Like stylistically and historically, abysmal. That would be a sin. Don't do it unless you really want to
Why?
drive people insane. Uh, but it's fantastic, and it's made out of a not like black, but like a darker metal than your standard steel blade would be.
I'm gonna uh, just kind of run my finger down the spine, just to
Nice, thick,
feel it.
reinforced. It is definitely a just a single bladed knife. And as you do that, in combination with the drawing it out of the sheath, you feel a little bit of something in the back of your head. Not necessarily a bad something, but something in your estuary just kind of gets your attention, and you don't know why. But that little spot in the back of your head definitely would feel like there's some sort of magic on this.
Gotcha. With that, I'll sheath it. I don't have the skill to fully determine, but I believe this is a magic blade.
oh, you said there were some engravings on it.
In the handle, just like stylistic carving and engraving.
Oh, okay.
The blade itself is smooth.
Ooh, okay.
As you could,
Um, are you good with any blades? Are you are
could you
you
repeat that?
are you handy with a knife?
Yeah. Uh, I'm gonna move my pack a little bit. Actually have a dagger strapped across the lower of my back that I could grab with one hand and draw.
Okay.
Just
Always like to
one?
keep one on.
Those are rookie numbers.
Lopez's original character in Evard carried like 20 plus knives on her.
Yeah,
Oh no.
canonically.
Well, yeah, because some of those are defensive knives. They serve as armor.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
yeah.
um,
They're
your
structural.
choice. Do you want to? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All
Uh,
you.
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that's I would I'd like to hold on to this one until we figure it out.
Okay. Um, but yeah, can't tell you much about that. I would have to take it to like a proper historian.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Nemo, if nothing else, you know from a right, or I guess you may not have heard a ton of this, but you would have heard it at least like day of in the tavern a little bit. But they are attempting to establish kind of an historical records office here in
mhm,
Darbiton. Um, so they might have reference materials in there without needing to like go to the Academy library on the other side of Barrett Hold or find
fuck.
some niche historian somewhere. Like it might be a useful resource locally.
Yeah. She's like, oh, never mind. There might be records upstairs. We can save some money.
So I'm gonna uh, wrap the or resheath the knife, wrap it in the handkerchief that I had taken off, and then place that in my bag.
Okay. Um, Perfect. All right, go ahead then to your inventory and add the mysterious hidden chest knife as a working title until you get any more details about what it actually is.
Okay.
But for what it's worth, functionally, that will serve as a dagger in combat. And if need be, pull the 300-year-old knife out, really scare somebody away.
Yeah, maybe.
Not because it's a knife, just because it belongs in a museum.
hmm
Do I look British?
I mean, canonically, Beridian accents in common often sound British.
I was gonna say I'm from Barrett Hold, so yeah, that
Yeah, if you're
makes
fighting.
lots
yes.
But yeah, otherwise in this room, there's nothing super,
of.
super getting your attention.
Okay.
The
Um,
Yejige is just on it.
Nemo sticks her head back through the wall. We found a knife. It was really
I'm
shiny.
assuming a Yejige's just been talking to Ron this whole time.
That's a fair assumption. Ron actually, as soon as the knock spell got used, Ron walked back out to that first crumbled wall you came through just around the corner of Yegier. So he's like he'd converse with you, but he'd be talking quietly and keeping a lookout just to make sure that knock didn't attract any attention.
Yeah. So Nemo gets a thumbs up in response.
Is there any,
Noodles.
is there anything in particular you had wanted to ask or talk to Ron about real quick while they're doing that?
And since I know what happened last time he was in this room,
Fair. Okay.
she was just gonna ask him like about the trip when he was here and why they didn't knock down the wall and stuff like that. If he knew it was so flimsy anyway. But I know the answers to all those things, so I figured I was just having a little conversation in my own head over here. I was
Oh,
my own DM.
okay. Excellent. DMception. All right. Then yeah, if you guys are finished over there, you can make your way back, or if you want to keep poking around, by all means, you can. Or at least you can try.
Yeah. Doop.
Um, yeah, I guess the next thing is I'm gonna look up, like just kind of study the ceiling a little bit, or if there was a ceiling, or if it's an open shaft. Um,
No, it's mostly still stone in that cavern. or in that cavern, in that hidden room, the the suspicious flooring room leading up to it, between you and a Yejier, it's more loose. Some ceiling tiles are still kind of attached, but most of it is either like fungus or soil setting in. So it's not a lot of stones in the bigger room, but the small one is still surprisingly well preserved.
Gotcha.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Fair. I mean, give it 100 years or so, and it'll really wear down and catch up, I'm sure.
Hmm.
I don't know how that actually works.
So Cole's gonna at this point sit on the chest and just stare back out towards the wall he just broke through and
Okay.
ponder for a second.
Okay.
You think you can move the thing? I know I can't, but I'm asking if you can.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm just I want to think out loud here a sec. What is the purpose of this room? Just to hide the knife, some climbing gear, a couple coins. Why brick it up? This doesn't. Unless there's a lot more to this knife, this seems a very weird thing to brick up at the end of a room of some kind. I wouldn't stash something here unless it was important.
It could be ceremonial. Ceremonial.
I can only assume I'm too far away to hear this.
Yeah, probably.
Bricked up.
You're because I guess what's your passive? Your generally what? How is your
It's
passive
loud in here.
perception?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true. It is
it's
pretty loud.
bad.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Nemo's trying her best to pantomime with her hands.
I feel like she's also trying to communicate with Ayesha, like trying to keep her updated.
But yeah, I just want to look around at the walls and the floor one more time just to see if there's any kind of other hints.
Okay.
So just want to investigate those quick.
Go for it.
Uh, Nemo, are you able to give me a hand? I feel like there must be something else in this room.
Sure. Um.
I just need you for advantage.
Okay.
He's gonna take advantage
I
of you
just
in this
need you
bricked
for
up room.
advantage.
It's tiefling business. You should stay out of it.
God, he's really I guess you could say he's taking advantage of having a party member, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Huh?
Ooh.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. You'll get advantage. Roll another investigation before you head out. Hey, there you go. You are able to do a sweep of every little nook and cranny in this room to your heart's content. There is nothing else to this place. That little dais that was under the chest is firmly affixed to the floor below. It's not a hidden cover to something. It doesn't slide. You see no mechanisms. Nothing. It's just a little room to put a chest.
Well, that is interesting, but I guess that is what it is. I will point out that 12 is 6 plus 6, so.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We'll go with it.
Right.
I'll
So I
allow
got
it.
6666. That's even more devil, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nemo's gonna turn around and she's like, "All right, there's nothing else in here. Let's go, buddy." And she like motions to leave the room, but she's not looking at you, Cole.
What?
Oh, you too. Let's go. My shadow.
What?
And then she flies off.
So, and now I see her ghost, correct?
Yes. I mean, you would have seen them like out while she was in there because they were still like they were
Oh, they
still
were just folded.
distinct and yeah, they were just kind of folded by my understanding. Um,
Mhm.
so you would have seen them in there, but now you get to see them spread to that full 8 foot wingspan.
We do have to talk later. I have several questions about you.
And normally I would say that would cost you.
What?
Yeah. And she like, all right. So Yeji, this is what we found. And she like shows Yeji like the inventory. We got some climbing gear. We found some rope. So now we all have rope. Yay! Because I didn't have rope. Uh, and we found
Would you like
some
to
more
carry your
coins.
rope?
Huh?
I'm assuming I'm. Would you like to carry your rope?
I would like my section of rope back, please.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that
Once you
way.
get back.
Yep.
Well, we
Once we
still have
get
to go save
out
the
of
other
here.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Yeji once again is willing to carry like the advanced climbing gear, and 50 feet of rope is surprisingly heavy.
It is.
Oh, yeah, and you will hand those off.
For what it's worth, if you're using that advanced climbing kit, I consider that mechanically, unless you were specifying otherwise, to be you were using all components of it, and that is to give you advantage on any sort of like climbing check you make, or any check against being forcefully moved against your will while wearing the crampons and having the rope, and any of that sort of stuff, you get a nice little boost with advantage on.
Gotcha.
So it is a very nice climbing kit, albeit old, but still in good condition.
Sell the platinum drugs.
That was Bogue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Of course it was Bogue saying use the platinum for drugs. You would. I do have a list of fantasy narcotics in Evard. I haven't developed it fully, but there are a few. Nemo, I suppose where you come from, you would probably at least know some about some of them, so I need to finish that list.
Mhm.
Okay,
I imagine I
you
know
probably do
some of
too.
them as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. I'll brief you
Oh,
guys on the world's drugs.
shit. While I was in the room with Nemo, I wanted to ask her earlier. Could I retcon a question?
Sure.
Okay.
Um, while we were alone in there, I'm gonna point at my sash and go, what do you do for the pact?
I told you. I appraise.
What are you known as?
Um, is he asking for like the occupation specifically?
Or
Just
like
what
a
your pact
moniker.
name is. Yeah, your moniker.
Oh, the crow.
Okay. Would I know that name?
Make a history check.
Yeah.
Uh, eh, eh, you've probably heard it mentioned, but not in any context or even necessarily in any conversation you were a part of. You may have just been in a packed bar and overheard it, along with many other names of packed members you don't actually know, but you've heard the name before.
Basically, you heard crows like shiny things. And I guess like she'll ask him, like, what's yours? Like,
Ash.
Ash? Okay. Could I also roll history?
Absolutely, you can.
The Pokemon Master?
This is the
I
first
got
time in ever, I believe, that I've had two players both part of this organization. So it's fun to actually get to see the dynamic.
Hmm.
Yeah, nope. Not ringing any bells.
I could be full of shit.
He
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, that's nice, honey."
That's a really cool name.
Oh,
Oh, that's a
Ash,
good one,
Cole.
buddy.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, this is
Look,
fine.
look, your name is Cole. You're called Ash. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Nice.
Okay. I'm happy.
Okay, good. But yeah, you guys, I guess I forgot the light barrier settings. Ron is just outside this collapsed wall that your tokens just can't see through. But he's been
Ah,
keeping guard, and he's still out there. He doesn't seem like he's particularly on alert any more than he has been, but he looks to make sure you guys made it back and nods.
All right. Well, I think it's time to depart.
mm-hmm.
All right, here goes. Let's go to the water.
Get in the water.
Get in the water. Hell yeah.
We can't
Uh,
sing too much or
we can't.
they'll mute us.
They will. We can't. Unfortunately. Epic the Musical. Go check it out. We've talked about it on the channel before. It's almost completed. It has one more section left to be released.
Dude, you gotta be careful. You start singing shit like that, we might get ruthless.
I know. I see what you did there. Okay, so as you come back through and take that other path that Ron had showed to you, the the soil here, let me get Ron back so you guys can see him. Um, but the noise of this subterranean river suddenly gets really loud as you get in here, and the whole space just kind of opens up into this huge cavern that is entirely stone. There's not really any loose soil past a point, and that's where it transitions on the map. This is all hard stuff that if it gets wet, it's going to be slick and dangerous. But it's a pretty level walkway all the way down over here, down and to the right, and eventually there's a bridge. And you've heard Ron mention it a few times. And he just looks at it and goes, yeah, still looks good enough. And his definition of good enough for a bridge is mildly questionable. It's definitely got a few holes that are people sized in it. I've never actually used this thing.
Oh.
I just realized that. Well, because one group, yeah, I've never actually walked across this bridge. I suppose there's a first time for everything scary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
we should get a rope on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna be like a kindergarten.
Yep.
Yes.
That's a hiking party.
You're all just gonna be
That's
chained
what we're.
together.
Yep.
Or I guess you guys gonna be like a dog walker with like 6 leashes.
I think if we go in a line, that'd be perfectly fine.
We have enough rope for it now.
Yep.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, you guys get all tied together. Ron gets secured, and he starts making his way across the bridge. And he gets
I was thinking the same thing. Making my way down.
he gets about halfway across the bridge, and he stops and turns around, and he has to shout for you guys to hear him, but he does shout back, "If it's loose, it's gone. Everything left feels good."
I'll give a thumbs up.
Who's loose? That's rude. He shouldn't be talking about people's switches like that.
I'm thinking lethal company rules one at a time.
Well, we only have yeah. So yeah, you're good to go.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
I'm between
There's
two
a
of you,
water
so
down
at
below.
least 3 of us go down.
Yeah, but Ron's taken a swim before, and he turned out well. He survived.
Good catch. Good save. Good
He's a little
save.
traumatized.
Oh, Ron and his adventures in this river. That was a good time.
Ayeshi's standing in a spot that she can brace herself on the railing if need be.
Okay.
Huh. Um, can Nemo just fly through?
Absolutely. There is so much room here. Like
Well,
all of this stone section and underneath the bridge and like off to the right a little bit, I just realized I forget about a lot of the tools I can use visually. So it
mm,
doesn't necessarily look like it, but imagine like this line across is where the crest of the waterfall is, and then everything to the right
oh,
of that is a waterfall, which once again, you still can't technically see the river, but you can tell from the sounds that that's where the waterfall is, and you can feel the
that
misting in the air, like the top of a waterfall. But this river is still 60 feet below you or further, because your dark
that
vision
is
does not pick it up.
terrifying. I don't appreciate that.
It's a long way. It is a very long way.
Well, wrong. Which way now?
You guys, hold on. Let me find out where my cursor is so I can select Ron's token. I'm not gonna bother spinning him because I can't see. He just kind of motions and he goes this way. This is the only path available right now because this bit you're walking around, kind of down here to the south, is just a huge boulder formation. Like it would be difficult terrain, if not borderline impossible terrain. And as you get over here, you get two options for places to go, and Ron peeks to both of them because this other one you can't see. And then he looks over. Oh my god, this whole no cursor thing. He looks over in this direction, and you see that there's a big boulder here that behind it is presumably some of the walls of the ruins you were already in. But there is a little gap between this boulder and that boulder where you can just sort of see some more of the flooring tiles in the style of what you've seen before. And there's just a little bit of light coming out
Oh,
of it.
I'm gonna get closer, see if I can get a better
it's
look at
not
it.
just a rock. Oh, wait, I said it wrong.
It's not just a boulder.
It's a rock.
Yeah,
Yeah, the audience does get to miss out on the things I'm putting into the Discord chat.
unfortunate.
I'm just laughing at them like a madman.
I did the entire math calculation for Nemo's ability to fly.
Oh,
You're welcome.
good gracious.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I was sitting talking to Ron for like 3 hours. Of
That's
course I'm
true.
doing math.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, in here is not a lot of a ruined room, but there is a bit of a tunnel, and it definitely looks and sounds and smells like there's a fire coming from further down this narrow tunnel. And you maybe possibly are able to hear not decipherable words, but maybe voices.
Mm.
I'm gonna hold up my hand just for people to stop. It is Ron close enough that we can talk?
Yeah,
All right. I'm gonna in quieter tones. Are these the goblins you weren't talked about?
I hope so. This is roughly the area I've known them to be in before. They haven't bothered anybody that I know of.
So, is it best that we introduce ourselves or just keep going?
Uh, I don't know. I guess that would depend on what y'all want to do. I don't know if they'd be offended if they find out we're down here and didn't say hello. I don't know if they'll care. I don't know if they'll see us and attack us because we are trespassing. I have no idea what they consider to be friendly or not friendly behavior. I don't have a lot of experience with goblinoids.
Um, it's
Do
not
they
the right. Sorry.
do they speak common?
I don't know. I
Does anyone here speak goblin?
Of course.
I'm gonna be a little surprised.
I'm not in the right location, Ulf, but would I know anything about culture?
yeah.
Okay. Should I roll for it?
Say again. Sorry, my phone made a noise.
Should I roll for
Yes,
it?
roll with advantage.
Um, I was thinking history.
Yeah, I could see history. I could see nature survival.
I'm just gonna roll twice because I don't know how to roll with advantage from. Oh, hey, there it is. Disregard.
Yeah, up top in the beyond D20, you can select with advantage or
You
without.
can also just right click it.
Oh, that's fun. Okay. Yeah. So, what is it
Ah,
you were
sweet.
wanting to know? Because you probably know one way or another.
A couple of facets. Would they have like a culture essentially?
Oh, of course.
Are they the more monstrous type or are they the more like civilized?
Oh no, the notion of goblinoids as being monstrous in Evard is uh
Strictly racist?
pretty much, yeah. Goblinoids anywhere in the world have their own culture and values and art. Same with orcs. It would it would very well possibly be different from where you're from,
Mm-hmm.
but there would probably still be some commonalities between what you've experienced in your life beforehand and what's going on here. Like, yeah,
Do I think they would feel one way or another if we did or did not make ourselves known before, like, we make noise and they find us or whatever?
it would be better to announce yourself and show that you don't have any sort of
Okay.
hostile intentions with them.
Yeah, even if we're not going this way.
Yeah, that
Okay.
would be considered uh, the proper way to show respect and not like make them aggressive towards you out of uncertainty.
And then last question would be, would I know a more specific to, because these are goblins, is what Ron said, right?
Yes, Ron said goblins.
Okay, would I know a more specific to goblins, like cultural greeting, whether that's bringing a gift or certain formalities?
Yeah,
Because I
something
know the
for the
language.
table.
Gifts are usually encouraged. They don't have to be anything huge, but just like the consideration of having something to give as a gift is enough.
And if we're in the fringe,
Fringe. Yes, you
God
are in the
damn, its
fringe.
name was. If we're in the fringe, we're kind of near Buried Hold, but they're also goblinoid. So could I assume they wouldn't have negative views on magic?
That's a fairly safe assumption. Goblinoids
Okay.
uh, have a pretty strong history of at least like spiritual leaders being able to perform some magic rituals as part of like traditional goblin pantheon observations. So like magic in general isn't super scary. It might not like it would be in Garland.
Okay. ASGA will kind of relay this information to the party about it would probably be better if we make ourselves known now as opposed to being found uncertain situation. We should also probably present a gift. And if they do not speak common, even if they do, I would prefer to do the talking.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
Lead the way.
Um, what are we
Is that a good?
establishing as the gift?
Ayegie will pull yet another decorated egg out of her satchel, and this one looks nothing like the one that she cracked over Nemo. This one looks maybe a little bigger than a quail's egg and has just a very swirling and fluid pattern all over it. The colors meld into one another. It's kind of hard to track the pattern on it. So just a very different looking egg, but she holds it up and goes, I have this, but most of the things that we have found in this cave so far in these ruins would also be sufficient gifts.
The jewelry that you found, the silver jewelry, would also be
And
well
probably the
received.
onyx.
Yeah, the onyx. Oh, yeah, the onyx would be huge. Like,
Yeah.
borderline, they might be uncomfortable with the onyx and refuse it out of a that's way too much. We are not deserving of that.
Oh, once again, Ayegie does relay that sort of information.
Well,
These people could be a very good resource for us since we are looking for something so specific. If they live down here, they
mhm.
may have found it, they may know where people have not been looking.
Yeah. Um, we could trade
Lead
the
with the
jewelry.
bracelet.
We can trade the bracelets or
The torque.
the onyx. Like
I
just
would
from.
say maybe we each present one small gift.
Mhm.
If both of you would present a bracelet or one of the other jewelries you found, I can present this egg. May I offer you an egg in these trying times?
Yes.
And
Of course.
uh and then if we need to do any further bartering, perhaps the onyx or some of the more rare things we have found so far.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. She's gonna go into the bag, grab one of the bracelets, hand it to Cole.
Is Ron
Uh,
coming?
He'll hang back unless that's ill-advised.
He can hang back, but if he wants to meet them and form a relationship to be a better ruins guide, he's invited to come.
Oh shit, yeah. That's probably what I should do, huh? Yeah, no, I'll come.
all right. She
Would
gives
the
the bracelet.
goblins like alcohol? Does Ron have any?
Are you asking him?
I'm asking you if they'd like alcohol.
Oh yeah.
If the
Depends
answer
on
is
the
yes,
alcohol, but probably.
Ayegie will tell him that is also likely a very suitable gift, especially for a long-term friendship.
I
They could be
understand.
drinking buddies.
I understand. Damn it. Okay, I got something.
Little does Ron know this is all a very convoluted intervention. We're gonna get down there. It's all of his friends and family. We lock him in.
Excellent.
We're only doing this because we love you.
But it is 9:15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna
I'm
get us
just
down
wondering
there
if
and
this
then we'll
is
pause.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, I found him.
They had no idea you guys were coming. It was
She's not
way too
quiet.
loud. Well, also, the only noise coming from that direction is constantly the river echoing through that huge cavern.
I wasn't sure if my armor would make enough noise.
No, but as soon as you round a corner, they have a lit brazier in here, and one of them does notice the light glinting off all of your armor, your piercings, and anything that's reflective, they see immediately. And he scrambles up out of a seated position, draws a sword and levels it at you as the rest of them scramble to their feet. They don't have any weapons you can see handy, but the other one does, and he's pointing right at Yejier. And that's where we're going to pause. We'll pick that
Ooh,
up with the next session and have you guys interacting with a small group of goblins.
with bubbles.
Excelente.
Yeah. So thanks for playing tonight, everybody. I appreciate it. I was not planning to play next Wednesday since it's the night before Thanksgiving. I assume people are doing stuff. Um, but the week after that, maybe? Doesn't need to be decided right now, but that's what I'm looking at. So we'll confer and I'll share with chat once we know in Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Woo.
But yeah, thanks for playing tonight, and I look forward to getting back at it. Y'all have a good evening.
Bye bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
all.
bye, bye.
Excellent. That is another adventure session down. Thanks everybody for hanging out and uh, putting up with me still remembering how to stream and run stuff in Roll20 and remembering how to multitask. I know a few of you sent messages, so I apologize. Again, it's going to be a thing where while we're in it, I'm going to be focusing on the game, but I do attempt to read what you guys are saying. Least what kind of campaign is this? I do apologize too for, let's see, Bogue, and I thought I saw somebody else, but I didn't see who. And oh, Avatrox, sorry I missed you. Um, those of you who are redeeming points on blurps, I completely forgot to check before I started doing all the D&D streams last week if blurps were behaving normally since they've off and on decided to function for me in the past. I don't know if y'all have been hearing them, but I have not been. So, yeah, sorry about that. I'll try and get that fixed for next time though. Uh okay. Bogue says you're hearing them. It's, it's been a hot minute since I used them. Okay. I'm glad you guys were still enjoying it. And I'm glad they're working for you if nothing else. But yeah, we'll take next week off as a holiday break and hopefully the week after that we will pick up with more underground adventures and get to interact with some goblins in a cave. Until then, everybody take care. I greatly appreciate your guys' patience as I get this whole thing started. And they were insanely loud in the first session. Oh, okay. Thank you for saying so, Rad. I will bump that down just for now. Okay. But everybody have a good evening. Have a good Thanksgiving. If you're traveling, travel safe. Or at least make it fun if you're not gonna, knowing some of you looking at Bogue. But take care. There will be more D&D shenanigans and other fun things to follow. Have a good one.